Hi, everyone. Thank you for being in here with me again. Um, oops. Sorry, my mic fell back again. Now, if you're here with me, it's because you're one of the members from Love and Moon Boutique. Thank you so much for trusting us. This is the space we have for growing our knowledge into this esoteric and mysterious world, right? There is so much more in the world than our physical eyes can see. I mean, you can use some tools to develop your third eye to see that invisible world. Very not much invisible to me. I well know this. One of the tools that we can use to enhance our third eye vision and our mystical powers is using tarot as a tool because it helps you develop your intuition and also astrology and natal chart because they're connected to like spiritual tools that will allow you to develop that other side of you. And let's face it, maybe the whole world told you to not believe it, but believe me, if you had powers and if people were trying to control you, would those people like you to figure out your own power? No, they wouldn't. That's why the whole society tries to deny that power. But now it's happening that the world is pulling it back to each individual so they can take their power back, right? As we go through this, this is the third class for the basis of astrology because of how much I get to pass from the content in each live, in each half an hour or 1 hour of live. I think we will have long sessions of those knowledges because in two classes I only got to reach part of Virgo meaning and only part of it. It's still missing the whole of it. So what I will do is that I will here with you and the with my digital tool I will show you places where I will gather information from. And all those informations I have read before, they're super valuable. And I know this because I did in university for astrology. So I do know that the knowledge that I got is the same, which means it's not just because I found on the internet that it's a lie. It's actually very well and based. And I will show you pieces of informations, and because of that, I will show many screens. I will share many screens, because you will see the knowledge being built while I construct the knowledge with you, and that's a good thing because that's a good way to keep the memory of the knowledge. Now a good understanding because this is a lot. Okay, we have the signs, we have the planets, and we have the houses. And all those three are based in the same symbols, which are planetary movements and based on Greek and Roman mythology. So this will help us to have some enhanced and deepened knowledge because when you get to know the basics but also compare it to the mythological stories that represents those planets in astrology, you have that you can understand even deeper the meaning of each planet movement and behavioral and psychological representation of it. Okay, so in the last part I was talking to you guys about Virgo. I will get back to that point because I was interrupted in the end of the last video. Guys, I will when I concentrate, I like to put my hair up. So I will do this because this will help me focus. Okay, so there we go. So what will happen is I will go back to Virgo. I will explain the line of thought I was having on it. And then we will continue until where I get to, okay? Because I'm recording this in the morning, early morning. And I could also be interrupted again because of the hour in which I'm starting this, okay? So I will try to keep a nice pace, but I am very detailed and very analytical. So, in passing you that, it's really, really possible that I may speak a lot with detailed information and take too long again to finish the content. But it's fine, okay? We have a whole year ahead of us to explain the continuity of this knowledge. And I like to give this very deep and enhanced delved knowledge because um, if you face the reality of start reading natal chart, the much info as you get to remember will help you gather more information, okay? Also, we could suffer some noise interruption from the cats because my cats are totally woke up and they're playing around the house. So, this is it. I don't know if my voice is too loud, but I'm gonna try to keep it low, even though clear, because I don't want to wake up my family, okay? So, I will start sharing with you my screen just a bit. From the Okay, what I'm gathering here now is the same explanation I got in the first two videos. Um, mm, I'm getting ChatGPT to tell me their characteristics, not because I don't know it, but because it could help me remembering it. And that's good for us, right? I don't want to miss out on anything. Maybe there are a lot of things to discuss about, and because of that, I am taking the information for all the signs because I had already compared in the first classes. The information was really qualified. It seems to me that ChatGPT 4 got the best results from all the pages around all the world and gave us the best info that are synchronized with what I have learned in my own astrology university. So I am opening this just for following up. You will see that too, while I will go back to showing you the astro mandala and its enhanced characteristics. Please excuse me, the cat's asking to come in just a bit, please. Okay, so sorry for that. Back in here. Sorry for that, too. So, um, fixing a microphone situation here. Okay. And I was doing this comparison. Please. I was talking about the difference of Virgo and Gemini, and why is that? They're not from the same element, okay? Gemini goes from is from air, Virgo is from earth. And why is that important? Air represents mind and thoughts and the area of the mind and thoughts. And the earth represents material and earth grounded based stuff. What is the difference then from Mercury action into each sign? So, Mercury brings all this intelligence to the person. It's astonishing. I love talking to Gemini and Virgo because their mind is so, they can grasp so much, you know. And but the Gemini, they go more in social forces of communicating and organizing thoughts, whilst in Virgo, you have a more organized person because the influence of the intelligence from Mercury needs to make influence in ground, right? In earth, in materia. So you have one point of view going from a mental side of life and the other one bringing it to materia. Also, what I think it's really important about Virgo is that I think to myself, okay, this is my personal thought. I see Virgo as the start of entering the mysterious. And I will tell you why. So, first, let me share with you my screen. Let me get the picture I'm wanting. In my Love and Moon Boutique file. Where is the image? Guys, I must say, I created this image very organically while I was in the first live. And that is important to say because it looks like a kid's drawing. And I also started putting the images taken from one place, which are not so clear, but then in the last images I got from another place, which got the images from the symbols of the planets a little clearer. So you will see that, okay? If you already saw the first part, the second part of this class, you will know what image I'm talking about. But again, I want to keep this very organical because uh, as Evan, I adore Evan from Love and Moon Boutique. He always tells me go with the more comfortable pace for you, and what is that called again? Resistance free, right? When you find the path of least resistance is what they call, I believe. So let me share with you my screen. The whole thing. Yes, the whole thing. Okay. Hey, I love appearing forever. Let's go to the image. Okay. So what you have in here, if you didn't watch the first and the second class, is the astrological mandala. I created this myself because I needed to show each house and each planet in each specific sign. So you will have in here each planet representing house one with its sign and so on until the 12th house. I had already explained really well until the fifth house and sign. But and I had started Virgo, but I didn't get to complete my line of thought. So I'm back in here again today, okay? So as I was saying, Virgo is the sign that represents the sixth house of routine, cleaning, health, and pets. But as I said, Virgo is represented by Mercury, and Mercury brings a lot of intelligence. And in this case, uh, based to an earth sign, which is Virgo. And why is that important? Because this tells us that that intelligence needs to be brought to practical uh, situations. With that in mind, that is equal to say that this makes Virgo a little bit more analytical. I also think that this is closely related to the story of Persephone. Now, let me tell you the story of Persephone so I can explain to you why this shows us about. Okay, they got me the big story. Okay. This story will show why Virgo gets to be an analyzer and why it can analyze superficially or very deeply. Okay, so the story of Persephone is like this. Persephone is the daughter of Zeus, the king of the gods, and Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility. The divine lineage places her among the major deities of Greek pantheon. Guys, I need to figure the translation here for this word just a bit, please. Okay, divindades. Okay, divinities. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Major deity. Let me get how to pronounce. Deities. Okay, deities. Her equivalent Roman is Proserpina. Okay, I didn't know that part. I just knew her as Persephone. So, the most famous myth involving Persephone is her abduction by Hades, the god of the underworld. Oh, that means the dark forces, dark places, and the things that we don't really closely realize, okay? Hades, struck by her beauty, emerges from his domain and abducts her to make her his wife and queen of the underworld. This event is often depicted as a sudden and violent act, with Hades carrying Persephone off in his chariot. The disappearance of Persephone devastates Demeter, who wanders the earth in search of her daughter. During this period, Demeter neglects her duties as the goddess of harvest and fertility, leading to a barren earth where no crops grow and famine spreads. Eventually, Zeus intervenes to broker a compromise as the desolation of the earth threatens all life. It is revealed that Persephone had eaten six pomegranate seeds in the underworld, binding her to it. The compromise dictates that Persephone spend one third of the year, or some counts say one half, in the underworld with Hades and rest with her mother on Olympus in the other period. This arrangement, hey cat, don't do that now, please. Where was I? Sorry. The compromise dictates that Persephone spend half of time or one third of time there with Hades, and the rest of the time with her mother in the Olympus. This arrangement leads to a cycle change of the seasons. So, in this point, we have the beginning of the construction of the seasons from their belief. With spring and summer representing her time on Earth, symbolizing growth and life, while autumn and winter mark her time in the underworld, symbolizing death and dormancy. Persephone's dual role as the queen of the underworld and goddess of rebirth and vegetation embodies the ancient Greek understanding of the cycles of nature and human existence. She was widely worshipped in ancient Greece, often in conjunction with Demeter, in mysteries that promised their initiate passage to a blessed afterlife. Cultural impact. The myth of Persephone has influenced a wide range of cultural expressions from ancient art to poetry and modern literature and psychology, particularly in discussions of life, death, deities, and archetypes. Okay, that was enough. That was way too much reading by now, but that's okay. So, where is the thing? Yeah, it's okay. I was here. Okay. So, going back to where is my image? Okay. So, why did I tell you that story? Why I read to you that story? Because it's like this. Persephone is the beginning of understanding duality. She is the beginning of understanding happiness and life in contrast with pain and sadness. Okay. And this is important to say because you will find Virgo people sometimes with very, very deep thirst for knowledge. And that also brings the very analytical side up to details because Persephone is visiting two worlds. She gets to see the bright light to watch the superficial vision can see, but she also gets to use her third eye to understand the underworld where she's going to pass part of her life in. With that being said, it's not so unusual to see that Virgo people have these differences of humor sometimes because they're realizing the visual world along with the hidden world, okay? And that is equal to say that maybe in a moment, in a point of the situation close to a Virgo, it can happen that you are in face of a hey cat you are in the face of um, someone in a very good mood, in a very good moment of their lives, in the Virgo sign, and out of nowhere, that person starts realizing something that you maybe cannot see, but her humor is changing, his humor is changing, and it's getting weird because this was not like that 10 minutes ago, but now it's getting different. And so, what's happening is a Virgo, they can see what's in front of their eyes, but also the underlying meanings beneath it. So this is equal to say that they almost can capture lies because they can capture that something is different from what they're seeing in the superficial realm, in the superficial physical vision. But they can realize, I'm not sure if energetically, I don't know how that process goes, but they can realize people lying to them and they can realize the difference of energy between the superficial physical visualizable world and the underlying meaning beneath behaviors and words. And that could totally make a Virgo change his mood because he's realizing someone may be lying to their faces or playing fake friends in front of their faces. And because of the large contrast that Mercury can represent in here, that's also good to say because of the symbol, which I will talk about it soon enough. They can be very analytical because they see that duality, and because of that they will want to analyze things, and then you have the detailed behavior starting in this point. Okay. Because of that they are very detailed oriented because they rule the routine part of life. They are very organized people with they're really good workers unless they had some sort of very different moon in their map, but usually they're very hardworking people. Also, they have this artistical result coming from getting out of Hades to Olympus. They can have this built of art in the middle of it, because the difference of states can culminate them to want to express it. A cats, it can culminate on them expressing the differences of what they see. And because they're being ruled by Mercury, which is this totally intelligence ruler planet, they can transform this into poetry, writings, arts, okay? And they will do this with a very rich and energy expense to make this art very similar to what they can see. So the deepest that they can see is how deep they're gonna build this above. Now, this symbol is a very interesting construction. It's not by no reason, okay? The symbols, they are very rich. So every time you see a circle, it's about the spiritual part of life. And in this case, the sun is about spirituality going into physicality. That's why you have the outer circle and the inner circle. Why is that good to say? Because every time you see the circled part of an astrological symbol, you will understand that it's talking about the spiritual part of it. So when you have in here Mercury, you have also the cross. The cross is about bringing it to materia, bringing it to earth. So at this point, you have the antenna on the top of the circle, the radar, like the antenna, capturing from the mind and thoughts realm, enhanced by the spirit to bring to matter. Matter like in materia, as in earth. Uh, and by realizing the antenna and the radar as they're one to each side, you can realize in this point the same thing that happens to Gemini, which is symmetry and duality. And the capture, yeah, I think it's capture of both sides of things. So that's why you find duality in Gemini and duality in the Virgo. But if you realize, this is very deep because they have this place that they capture from the idea realms to enhance by their spiritual perspective. Oh my God, those cats. To bring it to matter, to earth. So in here, you can have this duality. Oh my God, these cats. Just shh. Sorry, guys. Sorry, the cats are bothering me a little because they're too agitated now. Anyway, so this is the representative of the fact that why they analyze a lot, and why they're so detailed oriented. And this also talks about their organizational skills. Now, the organizational skills, oh, so every Virgo is clean, but I know a Virgo person that is not so clean. Oh, cats, do I need to go there to make you silence? So, this, what was I saying again? I'm sorry. So, this is why they are so detail oriented, but as in organizational skills, this will be directed to what they have in the sixth house of Virgo, because it so could happen that here in the sixth house, you could have another planet depending on which time you were born in the day in the city. And it also can happen that in here you would have another sign because of the position in the constellations. So their organizational skills will be more direct into each sign and planet is in the sixth house of organization. It so happened that you may say, oh, but I saw a Virgo person that is not so well organized. Well, maybe she has her house not so well cleaned, maybe her papers are not so well organized, but she will use that sense of organization in another part of her life. So it may not necessarily be in a house, but it also could be in a house. Okay. So we can tell about Virgo. They are detail oriented, they're very analytical, they can see both aspects, they can run into duality, not as the same way as Gemini, but slightly different way, because they won't do this in the mind realms. They will do this more related to from mind realms to bring it to earth. And they, because they rule routine, it will also talk about how we read the daily work. It also represents the daily routine in the work. And because of that, it will also talk about how the person will develop and behave in her daily chores at work. Okay. Now at this point, because I don't want to forget anything, I will come to read a bit of it. So, as I said, it is the sixth house. As I said, it is a Earth Earth sign, and just let me get Virgo cardinal, or not writing. Sorry. Pressione o quê para a caixa de pesquisa? Virgo is cardinal. Mutable. Okay, that's good. They're mutable. That is equal to say that they can be influenced. That is equal to say that actually they allow themselves to be influenced by what they want. That is also equal to say that they get to change their minds. They're not so stubborn as Taurus is, because he's a fixed sign. It's a fixed sign. And what else? So, behavior and psychological characteristics. They are meticulous, analytical, and highly practical. They have a keen eye for detail and a methodical approach to life, making them excellent problem solvers. Yes, because they're so analytical, and because they can enhance that spiritual perception of them, they get to be problem solvers. That's why it's not so rare to see a Virgo from assistant spot in a job vacancy growing in like 3 years to be a manager, because they have this ability of being problem solvers even in data analytical situations or in life analytical situations. Okay. However, they can be overly critical of themselves and others, as their perfectionist nature can lead to significant stress. Yes, that is true, because they're so detail oriented. They have this thing of search for perfection, that it's true, it can stress their minds. I kind of know that because my ascendant is in Virgo, and I do face that situation sometimes. So because of that, we get to be, sorry, my yawning situation here. Because of that, they get to be uh, self stressful. Okay, the search for perfection that we all know is sometimes unreachable makes them very upset to themselves. In here, in this case, you will have that concept not so well received. Which concept I'm talking about? Do you know that concept that the new world is bringing us about? If you're building something, you get the first version and you deliver, and then you take the knowledge back and you enhance it, and then you deliver a second version. And every time you enhance the quality of that information from a website or programming or whatever, or a writing or a book, whatever, each version you do, you release to the world. If you enhance and make it better, release again to the world. And every time that you enhance that knowledge a little bit more, you deliver a new version of it. that is really, really not so well received in Virgo, because in Virgo, it's more like this. First, I want to make it perfect, then I will release the information. That's almost unsettling because you are developing something and you want to know people's feedbacks, but you're so self critical that you don't allow others to see it as long as you, as a Virgo, find it almost perfect. And maybe you never get to find that feeling of perfect. Virgos, they're so self critical that they will see a really amazing job of their own and they will still feel like this isn't enough. Okay, so at this point, I got to speak what I wanted from Virgo, and let's move forward. Now, Libra. Let's go back to the image. Libra is the sign representing relationships, as in any kind of relationships, with business partners, with um yeah, maybe one-on-one on family situations, but also marriage relationships, dating relationships. So guys, it's not a bad behavior, it's just that I woke up really early. um and in here they rule beauty because they are ruled by Venus. And because in here we have a Venus, not in an earth sign but in an air sign, while here we have Venus um, in the air sign. You will have this person that is a little bit judgmental and evaluative of other people. And also, Libra represents that search for beauty. So, a Libra person could have this childhood imagery of beauty, and that person would get stuck to that vision because their search for beauty is not a lie. But okay, they're not like stubborn. They are, let me get that part again. They're cardinal. Cardinal is equal to say that they have the ability of, let me go back to the this part. That is equal to say that, oops, sorry. That is equal to say that they will search for beauty and in all the relationships. And that is kind of fun because the fact that they're cardinal makes them not be so stubborn. So while you have a Taurus making a pattern from childhood and keeping it until the end of life, in Libra you have a base from childhood, of a base from the concept of beauty that they had from childhood, but because they're cardinal, along life they can move to change that perception. The base will be kind of the same, but what they will allow to represent beauty for them can be enhanced, can have an open minded, because it's an air sign. So in this case, they will have a base, but they will also keep their mind open. A cardinal sign is equal to say that it's almost fluctuant, not as in unstable, but as in open minded. Yeah, it's open minded. What I mean to say is like this: they will allow themselves to change their minds if they realize that the influence is good and kind of makes sense for them. They are not like the kind of stubborn people that will keep trying to go against your arguments just for the sake of their pride. So, in this point, you have someone that will hear you and will think of what you said and maybe they will allow themselves to change their minds according to what you said, if it makes sense for them, and build their own thoughts about what you said. So, uh, because of that, because they rule relationships, Libra people are very articulate. They can fit on any means. They can You can find Libras having friendships between the poor and the rich, between the all kinds of classes, all kinds of situations. You can have a Libra being a total city person, but then look at what the cat did. This guys, excuse me, I'm gonna fix the camera situation. Thank you. Sometimes they get me nervous. Okay, also in this point, they are very articulate, and because of that, they can be very political if they feel like they need it. That is equal to say that not that they will be unnatural with friends, because with intimate people, they are intimate. They are as they were taught to be when they were kids. If they're open to people, they will be open to people. If they are a little bit close to people, they will keep it close to people. But usually they are people lovers because they rule relationships. And that is equal to say that they can be sometimes political to reach what they want. So you can have a friend in Libra that is like normal to you and he will behave as his natural behavior. But then if for some reason that Libra friend wants something from you and maybe he feels like it's going to be difficult to get it from you, they can start being political. Oh, but Danny, this is talking about all the signs. Yes, kind of is. Everyone has this side of them, but this is more preeminent in Libra, okay? Because they rule this politics world because of Venus, right? Venus is a representation of Nefertiti, and she did all this political situation. So the same situation from Venus in Taurus will be repeated in here, but now in the it will be well used for establishing uh, associations and partnerships in business situations too. Libra, because they are in our sign of cardinal behavior, they are open-minded. They can be, because of that, very intelligent. They have that also. They also have that search for art from Venus, and they will represent marriage. They will represent politics. They will represent business associations, and also they represent Libra, and Venus in Libra represents the declared enemies. That is equal to say, um, a declared enemy is like someone who tell you they don't like you right in front of your face. They will respect you that much. They won't hide from you it. So you in Libra, you have that person that can tell right to your face that they don't like you, and maybe they don't even have to be emotionally out of control to tell you that. No, they will tell you with their calm and their confidence, because this is a Libra kind of thing. From that point on, I will get what is in the chat GPT to not forget anything. So, behavioral and psychological characteristics. Libras are known for their diplomacy and a strong sense of justice. Oh, yes, that is also known in the Libra. They seek harmony and balance in all aspects of life, making them excellent mediators. Yeah, because of ruling relationships. However, their desire to avoid conflict can lead to undecisiveness and a tendency to place others at their own expense. Let me get what they mean by place others as their own expense, just a bit. Ah, não, gatinho, você não encontrou o guizo da Liuna, não, né? Yeah, it's almost saying that they're a bit manipulative, but I don't think like this. Yeah, if they can be political when they want things, but who doesn't take advantage of others, right? If they feel like they can get something out of it, right? So I also see manipulative behaviors more in other signs. Not that I know so many Libras. I'm not so that I'm not in so much proximity with Libra people, but I do have seen manipulative behaviors more in other signs. Uh, the technical characteristics. Libra is a cardinal air sign emphasizing intellectual initiation and a focus in relationships and aesthetics that search for beauty. Venus rules Libra, which enhances their appreciation for art, beauty, and partnerships. That's true. That's why they rule relationships. Now to the next, which is one of my favorite, which is one that I can talk most about. I'll be back to sharing my screen. So, yeah, they rule the Libra rule the seventh house. Okay, so this is the house of relationship subjects. Oh my God, that cat's so funny. You would have wished to see what he's doing. Oh my God, one of them, right? So in Scorpio, the eighth house ruled by two planets. Two planets. They're ruled by Mars, and they're also ruled by Pluto, which is no longer a planet, but it still counts in astrology. So, what you have here is. Vocês estão me irritando com essa meia. People, just excuse me a bit because of the cats again. They're bringing noise close to me. Just a bit. Shh, everyone silence. Shh. Uh, so, in the eighth house of ruled by Mars, Pluto, and the sign of Scorpio, which I know a lot because I am a Scorpion. Scorpio. We have the eighth house of transformation. And this is wow because transformations to happen, they need to go. It's talking about going from one state to another. So if you're changing things, what is the big change causer? It's the crisis. So in the eighth house of Scorpio, the transformative house, uh, you will realize that it rules crisis, fights. Yeah, I'm recording. Can you please just put it in there because I'm recording? Thank you so much. That was really nice of you. Thank you. Sorry, guys, that was my mom. Good class. Bye. My mom brought my kid the gift, so uh, I will not interrupt that. Anyway, so I was saying the eighth house rules fights, crisis, breakups, betrayals, murders. Guys, I'm not kidding. I wish it was. That's why Scorpio people are so bad spoken of, because it's true, okay? They rule crisis, they rule fights, they rule so many bad things, right? So many bad things. That's not a lie, but the concept beneath it is death. Please don't be scared. Death is just a natural part of life, right? But when I'm speaking about death, I'm actually trying to tell you that concept from that concept from. Filha, chama o papi, por favor, para mamãe. Tá, tá bom, papi, obrigada. Fala para ela que eu tô trabalhando, por favor. Se puder, fica um pouquinho no quarto com ela para ela assistir, para eu poder terminar. Eu só preciso de mais 10 minutos. So I'm sorry for the interruption. When my kid wakes up, I want to make sure that she understands that I'm not gonna be able to be with her right now. Nor now she has her father now to be with her. Anyway, uh, when I'm talking about death, I'm not talking about, oh, you're gonna die in physical reality, it's going to end. No, guys, death is just another way of saying a new beginning, okay? So when I'm talking about the transformative house, I'm talking about things that will be trembling down so the new phoenix can grow from the ashes. And that's why I know it's Pluto here, and I know it's Mars, which is the Bellic force, the god of war, which is also talking about their fighting powers. But in this point, you also have Shiva, right? Because Shiva is this entity that destroys to recreate. That is why Scorpio rules the transformations. And this is very interesting too, because this may not only be related to fights, it could be, but may not only be. What you have in here is that depending on which is the planet that you will have in the eighth house of transformation, you will also have what's Lê, por favor, leva ela para o quarto. Que ruim aparecer numa live o som de uma criança chorando não pode ser mais prejudicial. Então, Liuna, por favor, faz silêncio para a mamãe. So, in this point, you have that depending on the sign that is in the eighth house, that will actually show which is the energy that will lead that person to cause transformation. So, for example, in my case, I have the sign of Aries in the eighth house. And this is kind of huge because it is true that sometimes I do transform my life over fighting, because besides already being the eighth house of transformation that already rules fight and is already ruled by the gods of war, it also happens that Aries brings energy and new projects, and because of this much energy, they rule sports. So in my case, I use the energy of sports to change my life, and it's amazing when I want to do a transformative, positive transformation in my life, and I start practicing any sport. It's amazing how my life grows. It's amazing. So I do not only need to change my life by one aspect of the sign in the eighth house, because signs have many aspects. You choose one and you go with it. So uh, depending on the sign and the planet in there, you don't need to fight, you don't need to murder, you don't need to create crisis. But crisis in this point is not so difficult to happen, and they're a super necessary part of life. They are what teaches you new lessons and new ways of wanting to be, because you will realize by some practices that this is what will bring new results. So crises are equal new opportunities, as they say in business worlds, right? Now, the characteristics. They can be very determined, they can be very persuasive, they can be very stubborn because they're a fixed sign, which means they have trouble to changes and to change their minds. To have in here an open-minded, you need to have other planets and signs correlated to the eighth house of water, because it's water, it's emotional and it takes to the heart, and because it's ruled by Pluto, which is Aries, it's also related to the underworld. That is equal to say that they know a lot about of dark forces, and they are prone to occultism, the uh, the mysterious knowledge like theosophy and anthroposophy and all that stuff from Elena Blavatsky. And here you have Castaneda's Don Juan Matos fans, um, because they are very in love with the underworld, with the invisible realms, because they can see into the dark, because they are ruled by Pluto, which is Hades, the king of the underworld. And this is a necessary function in life. So let's not be mistaken. Oh, but I would like to avoid. No, don't avoid. Your best growth comes from this. It's like the phoenix reborning from the ashes. That's why that phoenix is representative of Scorpio. Okay. Um, what is there? What else is there to say? Now I'm gonna share with you what's on ChatGPT. Scorpios are from October 23rd to November 21st. Okay. Behavior and psychological characteristics. Scorpios are intense, true, passionate, true, and deeply emotional, true. They are known for determination and tenacity, but they can also be secretive and possessive. True, I do am a jealous person. Not just of people, but of my material possessions too. Scorpio have a strong capacity for loyalty and are often involved in profound emotional transformational through their lives. Oh my God, I love my sign. I do. I'm very profound. I love that part of it. Um, Scorpio is a fixed water sign, highlighting their emotional depth and resilience. Pluto has the planet of transformation and rebirth, co rules Scorpio with Mars, giving them a dynamic and magnetic personality. Proactive too, because of Mars. Um, okay, I will. Oh, 57, 57. I love repeated numbers. So I will interrupt at this point because I have already reached 1 hour of knowledge. I will be back from this point on, which means in the next part I will be talking about the ninth house of Sagittarius and Jupiter and Neptune. And for now, thank you. So to be with, thank you for being in me with me in here so far. Um, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you for trusting Love and Moon Boutique to create this partnership, for giving us this space to discuss spirituality and our spiritual growth. This moment of time in life, in Earth's life, we will have, I'm pretty sure, a lot of people waking up for spirituality, independent spirituality, not necessarily connected to any religion. I hope that a lot of universalism comes out of this. And universalism is the omanism, which is people who accept all religions as a message from the higher original force. And I'm saying that because I do feel like this space is was really well thought regarding that. And I've been in love with Love and Moon Boutique because I know the honest and sincerity of Evan, which is the owner. And Thank you so much for being part of our membership, and I hope to get to know you very soon. Remember to get to know the wellness space. You can have support, emotional support in there. They have this immediate text response for any questions and concerns you might have. I love it. And if you want to find me personally for Natal Chart Reading or Tarot Reading, you can find me on Facebook in Bueno Astral page, as in Spanish, because Bueno is my one of my three last names, and it's in Spanish. So Bueno Astral, which is the translation of good vibes. And thank you for being in here with me so far. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely weekend and a lovely journey. And I hope to get to know you really soon. Now, if you've got questions or anything you want me to elaborate on any spirituality subject, because believe me, this is what I most love about my life. This is what I most love about life in general aspects. I would love to discuss and deep the any knowledge, any concept, and grow any subject with you. Okay, I'm not here as a mentor. I'm here as someone who's growing along with other people, and I actually hope this to be. So thanks a lot again, and have a lovely weekend. Kisses in your heart. Bye bye.